Hey there, welcome back. In this lesson, we'll go through the details of the Part 2 exam. So it takes 2 exams to be fully TOGAF certified. There's the Part 1 and Part 2 exam. Now, you can take them both together at the same time in the same session, or you can book them separately, take them days apart, weeks apart. It's up to you. So Part 1, and hopefully you've either passed it or you're planning to take it already, tests your understanding of the TOGAF specification. Generally, it tests one thing at a time, and it's sort of a very detailed exam, just asking about definitions and concepts and sort of things like that. And passing this gives you TOGAF 9 Foundation credential. Now, the Part 2 test, which this course is about, is how to apply the TOGAF standard to several scenarios. It's more of an application exam, and if you pass that, it gets you TOGAF 9 certified. In this course, we're focusing on the Part 2 exam. I've got another course for Part 1. So the Part 2 exam is taken in person at a testing center close to you. There are 8 scenario-based questions. It uses a very unique gradient scoring system so that there are 4 multiple choice answers, and the best answer gets 5 points, the second best gets 3, the third best gets 2, and the worst answer gets 0 points. It takes 60% to pass. This is an increase over the Part 1 exam, which only required 55%, which means out of 8 questions and 5 points each, that's 40 potential points. You only need 24 points to pass. It is 90 minutes to do these 8 questions. It is an open book exam. This is another unique feature where you can refer to a copy of the TOGAF specification in a PDF format during the exam interface. You do have the ability to go back and forth, review your answers before submitting the whole test. It's not a scenario where you answer the question and then you can never see it again. You're graded immediately, and so you're given your pass or fail right on screen, and when you leave the exam center, you are given a piece of paper that says you're TOGAF 9.1 certified, hopefully. So the requirements of the Part 2 exam are listed on screen. This course basically focuses on each one of these individually. So you can see that these requirements all start with how to apply, right? How to apply the ADM phases in enterprise architecture, how to apply architecture governance, how to apply the TOGAF architecture content framework, how to apply building blocks. All of these, and I'll go on to the next screen here, are application based, how to customize the technical reference model, right, the IIIRM model, and the key content deliverables of the ADM cycle, etc. And again, the whole course is focused on each of these. So this is my experience with the Prometric Testing Center and the exam itself. It's around $320 plus tax to take the exam. It's obviously localized to your currency. Not every Prometric Testing Center offers this exam, so you go onto the website at prometric.com and you can then search your local area for testing centers and see if they offer this test. Again, you can do the booking, the cancellation, the re-changing of everything online. You get unlimited changes up to 6 p.m. on the previous business day. So, if you want to book the exam on a Saturday, you have until Friday at 6 p.m. to make changes to that. If you fail the test, if you fail the Part 2 test, you are still certified as Part 1 Foundation, but you do have to come back at least a month later and take the test again. You do have to pay again. Now, I've been told that you can get a discount if you contact the open group and say that you failed. They'll actually give you a voucher for a cheaper price. You don't have to pay the full $320 again, but you do still have to pay something. The Prometric Testing Centers, you're going to have a different experience to me. Now, while I was in the process of studying for my test, I took a lot of notes, and so what I ended up with was a couple of pieces of paper that I could carry with me. As I went to the Prometric Center, I actually took the papers in my pocket. I had some time. I got there about 20 minutes early, and I can sit and just review the notes one more time just before taking the test. Now, the testing centers themselves are not usually dedicated for testing because I don't know if that's a viable business. So they've got technical training schools. You'll go there, they'll teach programming courses, they'll teach Cisco networking, and they also offer this testing in a dedicated location. So what that ends up meaning is that this is sort of a side business for them. You're going to get not the biggest computer monitors. They probably are LCDs, although certainly some CRTs still exist. But they're smaller screens, older equipment, maybe a bit slower. It's not your home system for sure. You will get one or two erasable sheets so that you can make notes. You can't take it with you. You have to turn it back in at the end. You get a erasable marker as well. I'll talk about how I use this. One of the things I do is I calculate my score as I go. So as I go through those 8 scenario questions, I will try to attempt whether I'm very confident or only somewhat confident of the correct answer. And so obviously if I'm 100% or 90% confident, I give myself 5 points. And if I thought, well, it was a 50-50 shot, I couldn't decide between two, you can get 5 points or 3 points for that if you're right. And so I'll take the 3 points. And so I give myself a 5 or give myself a 3. In my experience, I generally, you're never going to give yourself a 0, right? So anyways, that's what I do. It took about 60 minutes for me to finish this test. I reviewed it, I completed the exam, and then I was ready to submit about 10 minutes after that. So your assignment is to go to the Open Groups website, look at the exam detail page, and particularly I want you to think about a date for when you'd like to take the exam, mark it in your calendar, set a goal, because you're never going to achieve a goal if you don't set it first. So give yourself up this 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however much time you think you want, not too long, set it and achieve it. Coming up next, we will talk about a quiz on what we've covered so far. Thanks.